Now, the Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto has been invited to India's Republic Day celebrations as the chief guest. But now, reports suggest that Subianto's plan is to club this visit to India with also a tour to Pakistan, and this has caused concerns in New Delhi. Now, according to sources, India has raised this issue diplomatically with Indonesia. Now, according to the Pakistani media reports, the Indonesian president will be travelling to Pakistan on the 26th itself. And that essentially is the day when he will also be the chief guest at the Republic Day parade in India in the morning. Now, sources say that he is visiting Pakistan on the invite of Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, and he'll be inking a number of different memorandums of understanding with Pakistan as well. Now, India has extended invites only to countries with which it has strong diplomatic ties, and Indonesia is seen as a close maritime neighbour. Now, the optics of joint India-Pakistan visit is something that the Indian government is not really keen on, as it is known that Delhi has been pushing for what is described as a dehyphenation between India and Pakistan for many decades now, and it has been very successful in this. The ties between the two neighbours are not in a positive trajectory due to Pakistan's support for cross-border terror, and as per unwritten protocol, India has told foreign delegations not to travel to Pakistan from India. And the policy of dehyphenation, of course, began gaining prominence during the second term of George W. Bush's administration. It was aimed at separating U.S. foreign policy towards India from its policy towards Pakistan, recognizing India's rising power status and also its potential as a strategic partner. Now, India has invited the Indonesian president to be the chief guest at the Republic Day parade, and this, of course, is for the third time that an Indonesian leader has been invited after 2018 and 1950. And the visit is part of New Delhi's broader outreach to the ASEAN nations. Now, India shares some pretty close ties with Indonesia, both in the maritime domain, political domain, and also the cultural and historic domain. The visit comes as India is celebrating 10 years of the Act East policy, and under it, leaders from the ASEAN nations, including Vietnam and Malaysia, have travelled to India last year. All right, now to give us more perspective in terms of what, of course, is happening, we're joined from New Delhi by Siddhant Sibal, who's joining us live on this broadcast from New Delhi. And we also have Anas Malik, who's joining us live from Pakistan. Anas, let me in fact start off with you first. At this moment, there are reports which say that the Indonesian president could be travelling to Pakistan as well. Could you give us more details as to what has been officially conveyed, if at all, of this visit by the Indonesian president?
Well, Saleh, what we have learned is that the Indonesian president will indeed be travelling to Pakistan on the 26th of January. He'll be arriving in Pakistan between 8 and 10 p.m. Pakistan time on the 26th of January. And then on the 27th, he will be spending a busy day. First with the Guard of Honour at the Prime Minister House, then a tete-a-tete with the Prime Minister of Pakistan, then followed by a delegation level meeting, and then talks. It is expected that the Speaker of the National Assembly and the Chairperson of the Pakistani Senate, he'll also be calling on the Indonesian President. It is pertinent to mention the fact that just recently Shehbaz Sharif, the Pakistani Prime Minister, and the Indonesian President had met on the 19th of December in Cairo on the sidelines of the D8 or the Development 8 Summit, where Shehbaz Sharif had extended this invite to the Indonesian counterpart, to the Indonesian President rather, to visit Pakistan, which has now been accepted by him. And during this visit, about 8 to 10 of the MOUs are expected to be inked. Saleh?
Interesting. Stay with us, Anas. Let me bring in Siddhant Sibal, who's joining us from New Delhi. Siddhant, now, India has been making efforts to dehyphenate India and Pakistan, and this was an invite that was given to the Indonesian president to be a part of the chief guest at the Indian Republic Day parade on the 26th of January. What more do you have to tell us?
Well, the Indonesian president will be traveling to India later this month. His visit starts from 24th of January. And of course, we know that in the past as well, Indonesian presidents have been invited, whether it's 2018, 2011 or 1950. But essentially, we know that the state of the Indo-Pak relationship, it is in a negative terrain, primarily because of Pakistan's continued support to terrorism. And the relationship will remain frozen for a pretty long time. And we know that India has been focusing on its own trajectory, economic trajectory, or whether it is political trajectory. All in all, we know that India has told foreign delegates that when they travel to India, Pakistan should not come as one of these stops. In fact, 2019, we know that when the Saudi Crown Prince had visited the Indian subcontinent, he had traveled to both India and Pakistan, but he had gone back to Riyadh. And that was primarily because he was sensitized about India's point of view. Now, essentially, with this upcoming visit, India, of course, has again sensitized the Indonesian leaders, Indonesian foreign ministry officials and other officials about India's sensitivities. And I won't be surprised if the Indonesian president decides to call off his visit to Pakistan.
Right, interesting. Thank you very much, Siddhant Sibil, for joining us and getting us all those updates there. And Anas Malik, of course, will continue to stay with us. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.